Walk up to any practice green in the world, and you'll see the same routine. A player drops a pile of golf balls and starts striking them toward a hole, one after another. Success is judged by a single metric: proximity. If the ball stops near the pin, the player considers the technique correct. If it rolls past, they assume it was a mistake. Every now and then, a ball tracks perfectly and settles within a foot of the cup. That result provides a quick hit of satisfaction, which the player interprets as progress. But when the shot misses, the corrections are rarely precise. The player might try to use more feel on the next one, or make a vague adjustment to their grip, hoping for a better result. The player leaves the green believing they've improved, but they haven't built a repeatable skill. They have simply reinforced a habit of reacting to random outcomes. This right here is the illusion of competence. If you hit 20 balls toward a target, statistical probability dictates that 2 or 3 will finish inside a decent range. That isn't a sign of skill. It's just the natural result of hitting enough shots to eventually get lucky. On the course, you only get one attempt. Without the benefit of hitting a dozen warm-up shots to find the rhythm, the lack of a foundational mechanic becomes obvious. A player who relies on the average of 20 attempts has no actual control over what the ball will do on a single high-stakes shot. To build a reliable short game, we have to look past the intuition of the shot and treat it as a physical equation. Every chip shot is the sum of 2 distinct parts. We can call them variable A and variable B. Variable A is the landing spot. This is the exact point on the green where the ball first makes contact with the turf. Variable B is the rollout. This is the distance and direction the ball travels after that initial impact, until it comes to a rest. If variable A shifts by just 12 inches, the friction and slope of the green will change variable B entirely. It is impossible to predict how a ball will roll if you haven't first decided exactly where it will land. Staring at the hole is a distraction, because the hole is part of the outcome, not the primary variable that creates it. For an elite player, the hole is no longer the target. It is used only as a reference point to help calculate the landing zone. The objective of the practice session is narrowed down to a single coin-sized spot on the grass. The only goal is to hit that mark. This changes the definition of a good shot. If the ball hits the landing spot perfectly, the shot is a success, even if the ball rolls 10 feet past the hole. Conversely, if the ball misses the spot but gets a lucky bounce and stops near the pin, that shot is a failure. By prioritizing the landing point, the player removes the influence of luck and begins to measure their actual technical precision. Most players avoid this method because it is much harder to practice. When you aim for a specific spot, you can no longer hide behind a good enough result. You lose the comfort of the lucky bounce. Every shot becomes a clear pass or fail. This level of accountability is uncomfortable because it forces a player to see exactly how inconsistent their strike really is. Golfers often prefer the vague idea of feel because it protects their ego. It allows them to blame a bad shot on a lack of rhythm rather than a lack of skill. Developing a short game requires a player to stop protecting their ego and start measuring their accuracy against a fixed target. When a player commits to this discipline, their focus shifts from the result to the requirement of the shot. A player who can land the ball on a specific spot can handle any green. They aren't guessing how the slopes and grain will affect the ball. They are choosing the point that makes those factors work in their favor. Once the landing point is controlled, the rollout follows a predictable path. The physics of the green become a tool rather than a mystery. The difference between the amateur and the elite is that the elite player has replaced the ambiguity of feel with the reliability of structure. If you want to control the outcome of your short game, stop chasing the hole and start chasing the spot.